Hey guys, welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to talk about how I've been training for my 50-mile race coming up in 4 weeks. Today I have an 18-mile run, so I'm going to take you guys out on the trail and talk about 5 things that I do as I'm preparing for this ultra marathon. So let's get right after it, and I'll see you guys out there. First thing I want to talk about is building up your weekly mileage. Now, if you're going to sign up for a 50-mile race, you want to give yourself, depending on how experienced you are, but maybe 3 to 4 months to prepare your body for 50 miles. And something you want to consider is slowly building up your mileage. Say we start at 30 miles a week, we're gonna go up 10% each week, and every 4 weeks you can throw a deload week in there where you're dropping, let's say 5 to 10 miles, maybe 10 to 15 miles from the previous week, and that's just lowering volume. If you had higher intensity, bring your intensity levels down. All right, so a sweet spot for me for a 50-mile race is building up to 60 to 65 miles in the week. And if you can get 2 to 3 of those weeks in a row, then you're golden. You're gonna be ready, more than ready to go. And what I like to do during the week is have these miles smaller, maybe 5 to 10 miles per day during the week, and then on the weekend building up those longer runs, something up to 25 to 30 miles as your longest run. There's absolutely no purpose in running 50 miles before you do a 50-mile race. That's just going to cause injuries, overuse, all of that. So you want to build up to about halfway, which is 25 miles, and have that time on your feet. That'll give you time to practice your fuel intake, and you'll be good to go. Number 2, and this is super important, is getting in that strength training 3 to 4 times a week. Make sure you're working those legs, not forgetting about your upper body, and just doing a lot of strength work. You can go more hypertrophy in the beginning of your training and then just focus more purely on strength as you get closer to the race, and you'll be golden. But strength work is everything, especially if you're not trying to run and overdo it. That's why I say 65 is a sweet spot, because you're doing the strength work on top of it, and your legs are going to be more than ready to endure those 50 miles. I'm big on the strength work. I think it's a massive thing to include into your training regimen. So don't forget, get that in 3 to 4 times a week, and it will help out tremendously. Talk about what I think is the most important part for ultra marathon training. No matter if you're training for a 50K, 50 miler, 100K, or 100 miler, you want to get in these back-to-back long runs. They've helped me tremendously training for the 100 miler that I did, and just in general building like a solid aerobic base. I focus on, along with building the weekly mileage, I'm building up my back-to-back long runs and focusing on getting something like bunched up 40 to 50 miles in one weekend. And you're gonna feel solid when you're in that race and your legs are tired and you know what you need to eat and what fuels your body, because during those runs you're working on time on your feet, you're working on your food intake. So that's why those runs are, these kind of runs are so crucial. Right now I'm on a 22 miler yesterday, 18 miler today. I'm about 4 weeks out from the race, and last week I did a long 25 miler. Next week I'll probably do 3 back-to-back-to-back long runs, and I'm just practicing the stress that my body's gonna go under when I'm at this race. In these long runs, you also want to focus on where you're running. If your race is on a trail, then do a majority of the back-to-back long runs on a trail. If it's on the road, vice versa, and you'll be set to go because you'll be already used to what your body's going to go through, and you're splitting it up. This is what I was saying before. You don't want to run 40 miles in one go unless you're like super elite, but even the best don't do that. And that's the other cool thing about ultramarathon training. There's no like designated way to train. This is what has worked for me, and so this is why I'm letting you guys know. I think it can work for a majority amount of people, but it's all trial and error. Getting in back-to-back long runs, building them up to something like 220s, a 25 and a 15, you'll be set to go, especially for a 50-mile race where it's a little quote-unquote faster than a 100-miler or 100K, so you can practice your pace that you're going to be doing in the race. And there's just a lot of practice opportunity in these back-to-back long runs, and that's why I think they're so vital in ultramarathon training. Now I want to simplify recovery with just mobility work, foam rolling, massage ball, myofascial release, nutrition, and sleep. If you're focusing on all of those after your runs, before your runs, then you're going to be good with recovery. One thing I made a mistake on was training too hard for my 100-mile race and then starting to recover once I felt the overuse injuries starting to occur, like the shin splints and the tendonitis in my knee. Then I reacted. So you want to react before anything happens. Stay on top of it. Make sure you're eating plenty of nutritious foods. I do a lot of grass-fed ground beef, potatoes, my carb source, fruits as a carb source, getting in the healthy fats with olive oil and avocado, grass-fed butter. I love to stick around those foods, and then occasionally I will eat pizza or pasta, but you know, I feel it right away, so I try to just listen to my body and go with what responds the best, and then I'm good to go. The most important part of recovery, if you were to choose to focus on one out of those three, the myofascial release, foam rolling and stretching, the nutrition, I mean, you got to have those down, but if you were to choose to focus on one of those, it has to be sleep. And I see a lot of ultra runners choose getting their weekly miles in over sleep, but these 7 to 8 hours of sleep are way more important than getting in those miles in at night. You got to think, you're working all day, that's stress on the body. You're strength training, that's stress on the body. You're getting in more miles, that's stress on the body. So focusing on getting optimal sleep is so important, and I think a lot of people overlook that. Sleep is just such a simple form of recovery. If you're not making that part of your routine and you're choosing miles, you're choosing Netflix, you know, maybe you have to reconsider training for ultramarathon, because you're just going to crush your body and you're not going to be able to do this for the long run. So focus on sleep now, make that part of your routine, get that down, get your nutrition down, do 2 to 5 minutes of stretching after a run, before a run, you are gonna help yourself out so much when it comes to race day and longevity in this sport. The last thing you want to do, and what you should be doing every single run, is visualizing. Visualize yourself on race day. You know, it's going to help so much. When I used to do Olympic weightlifting, I would literally visualize me doing a snatch on the platform, me doing a clean and jerk on the platform. And I do the same thing out here in the trails. I imagine myself at mile 30, my legs are a little tired, pushing through, getting after that last climb. And when you do that and you're out there on race day, you're already going to be, you already did that. You're already committed to it. You know, you already did it in your head. And I believe in the universe doing what you put your mind to, and it all connects. So when you visualize that, when you already saw it in your mind, it's going to happen on race day. And you got to visualize the bad too. You might fall, you might get hurt. And how are you going to overcome that? You know, you're going to keep going when you're down and on your lowest low. Are you going to be able to push? You got to think about all these concepts when you're out at training on the trails or the roads, whatever you're doing. And it's going to be big help for race day. That's 18 miles on the day, and I actually felt pretty good out there. After 22 yesterday, another 18 today, 40 for the weekend. I'm feeling strong heading to Shadows of the South in 4 weeks. After today, we're in that 21 day range, so almost 3 weeks out. I'm pumped up. I got one more big week, and then I'm going to taper off. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and join me along for my journey of lifting, running, and getting better than I was the day before. Alright guys, I will see you in the next one. I hope this video helps someone out there who is training for an ultramarathon or a 50-mile race. It doesn't really matter. Try these tips out and see if they work for you, and if they do, that's awesome. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.